Well, it's safe to say that you clicked on this video because you're interested in trophies, and without spoiling any of the major events that take place in Spider-Man 2, I can confirm that the tradition of a fairly straightforward platinum continues in the Insomniac line of Spider-Man games. But you know how it is when you're a trophy hunter, you've done all the hard stuff, and then you're left with a string of simple tasks to mop up. In this video, we'll show you how to get a bunch of those cleanup trophies the moment you get to free roam in Spider-Man 2's open world. Again, there are no major spoilers for Spider-Man 2's story here, as these trophies can be obtained in the first hour of gameplay. That said, 2 of the trophies on this list will spoil key moments from Spider-Man 2018 and Spider-Man Miles Morales. I'll be sure to mention those at the top of those sections. Okay, let's begin.
The great hunt begins.
First up is a free trophy. Before you can get any of the other trophies, we need to play through the opening to get access to the open world. So by completing the intro sequence, you'll be rewarded with the "You're Gonna Need Help" trophy. Great job, 1 down, 7 to go. After getting this trophy, you'll still need to complete some activities before we actually get to free roam. Complete all the quests that the game has you do, and eventually you'll be dropped into the world as Peter's Spider-Man, and it'll tell you that the one thing at a time mission is complete. We could start grabbing trophies now, but I highly recommend you do one last thing. Miles will call Peter immediately and introduce him to the photo op mission called Show Me New York. Just do this mission before we set off, as it unlocks wind tunnels and the ability to switch to Miles, both of which we'll need for the trophy hunt.
Ain't that something?
Okay, let's get trophy hunting. First up is the easiest on the list. When in the air, you can hold the square button to make Spider-Man do air tricks. The intention is to complete whatever air trick you're doing before you hit the ground. What we'll do instead is continue holding square and doing air tricks until Spider-Man lands on the ground with a thud. And congrats, the Splat trophy is now yours. On the topic of air tricks, the Hang 10 trophy asks you to perform 30 air tricks in a row without touching the ground. Here's the easiest way to complete this. Go to the settings menu and enter the accessibility section. Here, scroll down until you find the air trick setting, which will be defaulted to hold. Change this to toggle maintain. What this does is, when you're in the air, you just press square instead of holding it to make Spider-Man start doing tricks. This way, all you have to do is focus on swinging to keep him in the air and move the left stick around to perform different tricks. I also recommend you do this under a bridge to keep yourself from getting stuck on buildings or by hitting the ground and splatting. And that's it, just keep swinging and performing different tricks by moving the left stick, and eventually the trophy will pop. You'll have to move the left stick in all sorts of directions to get him to do different tricks. You can't just do the same one over and over and over. You obviously can do this by not altering any accessibility options and just by holding square while you perform the tricks. But I'm one of those trophy hunters. I have no dignity. If there's an easier way for me to do something, I'm gonna do it. Moving on. We're gonna grab these next few trophies in order to minimize the travel time. The next trophy is a simple one. Head over to the very southeastern corner of the map in the downtown Brooklyn district. You'll want to go to this exact spot, which will find Spider-Man at the baseball stadium. Land and run to home base. From here, do a full lap around the bases like you just hit a home run. And that's it, the home run trophy is yours.
And Parker does it all with the home run bunt.
Just because I promised I would warn everyone, this trophy does include a slight spoiler for Spider-Man Miles Morales. Speaking of, you'll now need to switch to Miles in the app, which is why we needed to unlock him earlier. From the baseball stadium, we're now going to head west towards the financial district. In the center of the financial district is Trinity Church. Land on the western side of the church's roof and aim towards the steeple. We're going to land on this ledge here. Zip up there and you'll spot the science trophy that Miles and Finn won together in Spider-Man Miles Morales. Pick the trophy up to get the PlayStation trophy, just let go.
Miss you, Finn.
Okay, another tricky one. The Soar trophy requires you to web wing glide all the way from the financial district to Astoria. This is why unlocking the wind tunnels was important, because this trophy is basically impossible without them. When hovering over the financial district on the map, you'll see the borders of where you need to start your journey. We're gonna head to the northeastern edge. Once there, look for something tall. I use this radio tower, and then we're gonna slingshot launch from it. If you don't have slingshot launch, I recommend grabbing it as it's the first skill in the shared skill tree. Once on the tower, set a map marker to Astoria, that way you know where you're headed. Looking northeast, you'll spot a wind tunnel, and this is where you need to launch towards. But remember, you need to be in your wing glider before leaving the financial district, so slingshot toward the tunnel and immediately deploy your web wings. No matter where you choose to launch, you'll want to make sure the web wings are out before the game says that you're in Chinatown, or the trophy won't pop. So starting over to show a clean run, launch and web wing into that first wind tunnel. Ride it until it ends over the bay, and then immediately look to your right to spot another wind tunnel and glide over to it. Once you're in that tunnel, you're home free, as this tunnel will take you all the way to Astoria. Ride the tunnel to the end and keep gliding toward your marker, and the trophy will pop. Alright, this trophy has major spoilers for the end of Spider-Man 2018. You've been warned. We're now going to travel to the cemetery as Peter, so if you're still playing as Miles, you'll need to switch back. The cemetery is on the very northwest side of the map in the Harlem district. From the entrance of the cemetery, we're going to run down the sidewalk to the left and go in through this way. Follow the pathway and keep right here. At the next fork, keep left. After a few more seconds of walking down the winding path, you'll be close to the center of the cemetery, and you might even spot a marker for you to interact with. Head towards that marker, but ignore it and turn right. You'll then see Uncle Ben and Aunt May's gravesite, exactly where it was in Spider-Man 2018. Interact with it to earn the You Know What to Do trophy. Okay, last one, and it's easy. The main mission marker you should have right now is Suit is Sandy, which requires Peter to change into a new suit. When starting this quest, you'll get a new suit and the game will introduce suit styles, which are just different colors of your current suit. Instead of leaving this menu with the default style, switch to one of the other suit styles and leave the menu, and the stylish trophy will pop. And there you have it, you now have 8 trophies in the first hour of Spider-Man 2. That's a pretty good start for snagging a lot of the optional trophies that the game has to offer. For more guide help, make sure to head on over to IGN's growing Spider-Man 2 wiki. And for everything else video games, stick with IGN.